the world's largest and most reputable banking institutions for the past 155 years. With presence in 64 countries and territories across the globe, adapting to the customer's new age horizons, always staying cognizant of changing times. But there's more to HSBC than just its global footprint. There's a legacy that's deep-rooted in Indian culture. HSBC set up India's first ATM in the year 1987, spearheading the evolution from traditional to new age banking. HSBC executed India's first of its kind blockchain trade finance transaction, always staying at the forefront of innovation and excellence. And with India gradually evolving into a global native, HSBC has cohesively catered to India's refreshed identity, with a wide spectrum of bespoke services from its three core business verticals: global banking and markets, commercial banking, wealth and personal banking. With over 40,000 employees in India, HSBC also operates its global service center and software development in India, providing industry-leading fintech services for HSBC's global ecosystem. HSBC also works with grassroots non-profit organizations across the country, investing over 100 crore rupees annually. Also focusing on skill development for youth, women empowerment through entrepreneurship, improving access to finance for the unbanked, and addressing climate change. All this showcasing HSBC's global character and footprint, making HSBC a bank that's deep-rooted in India, taking India beyond boundaries.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Gaelyn Mendonca, and welcome to another star-studded episode of HSBC Star Struck. It's great to have all of you with us yet again, sending out big love to the entire HSBC family here with us today, not just from across India, but also from the various corners of the globe. With me here in the studio this evening, we have my friends in the house band out there. Say hello to them. And with that, we're ready to kick off the second episode of HSBC Star Struck. Just like before, this season we have a super lineup of personalities from all walks of life that are here to inspire you and give you fresh new perspectives that help you grow. I am so excited about our guest this evening. She's nothing short of a superwoman who just keeps on inspiring. When I look at the list of roles she's played, I mean model, actress, supermom, writer, book club founder, entrepreneur. I don't know how she does it, and I can't keep up. I mean, most parents these days find it hard to just keep up with their kids. Not her. No. Not only is she an ace at the mom game, she's also found the time to write a book about it. Well, there are loads of other facets to her awesomeness. She's one of the only social influencers I know who is very sweetly reminding her 2.8 million followers that it's probably a good idea to take a pause from scrolling and start reading a book. Well, I could go on and on about how cool she is, but you know what? She's right here with us in the studio in person, so she might as well just tell us herself. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the beautiful, the lovely Sonali Bendre. Hello. Namaste. Namaste, Sonali. Air kisses. Air kisses are appropriate. Yes, it is so wonderful to have you here, Sonali. As you know, I've said this to you earlier also. I am so inspired by you. You're so beautiful, you're charming, and I'm sure a lot of guys out there that are watching us right now are really, really jealous of me. They would really hope that they could swap places with me. But you know what? All I can say is, too bad. I'm lucky I'm right here. Thank you so much for being here.
Listen, you're very, very kind, and thank you for making me feel so special by saying all these lovely things about me. But as you can see, I don't take compliments very, I get very shy with them. I'm not very good with it. But I love them, no doubt about it. I love them.
Absolutely. Well, you have such a wonderful, great, inspiring story. And trust me, not just me, all our viewers really, really want to get straight into that and want to know so much more about you, your life, and everything that you could possibly take us through today.
Now, before we start, let me just say good evening, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here. And it's very interesting what is, how you're kind of taking people through this and making their weekends interesting.
Yes.
Especially, like we said, air kisses in pandemic time and all of that. So it's nice to know that, by giving them this weekend fun, you're taking care of their mental health. So
Absolutely.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. Guys, first things first, to all our viewers joining in on our webcast platform, if you have questions for our lovely Sonali this evening, well, we have a question tab just below your screen. So put in your questions and we will get it across on your behalf. We also have a chat box, so please keep the energy going, keep reacting, keep commenting, and we'll keep coming to you through this conversation. Also, this week, we have a superfan contest. This is your chance to win an autographed memento signed by our lovely Sonali Bendre herself. To participate, head over to the HSBC India Instagram page. We have a question put out as one of our stories. All you need to do is post the answer to the question as your Insta story. And don't forget to tag @HSBC_in. The contest is live, so guys, get going. You can do this. I'm sure you want to win that memento signed by Sonali herself. Well, Sonali,
Yes.
I can't wait to get this conversation started. I mean, when I look at you, I look at someone who's taken on so many roles. As I even mentioned earlier, you pretty much multitask. You do so many things. But not just multitask, I think you pretty much have aced a lot of the things. In fact, if I'm not pushing it, all of the things that you've taken up. Very girl power vibes, if I have to be really honest.
Look, I don't think I've really kind of aced anything. In fact, I'm very much a work in progress. And if you think I have aced it, that means I'm a good actor and I'm pretending.
That you are. You are a good actor. There is no denying that. That's right.
Thank you, guys.
But you've also built yourself a very strong and a very inspiring personality. And I'm sure just like everyone out there who's watching us, I too am one of those who's really inspired by the way you've kind of gone about your life and done things the way you've done them. But if I were to ask you to start things off, if you were to remember or go back to the time before all of this happened, before all of your on-screen success, before you went onto the silver screen, how did you go about paving your way towards your dreams?
Wow. To be really honest, I don't know if these were my dreams. So I started very, very young, and when I started, it was more the need. I needed to make the money. Family was going through a rough time, and etc., etc. And this was something that was kind of coming up constantly, and I just took it on. And I lucked out that I enjoyed what I did, and I really fell in love with the profession that I got into. But when I got in, it was not because I never dreamt of being an actor. I never dreamt of that. It was never there in the realm of possibilities.
This was not the plan of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And this was not something anybody did from the world that I came from. I mean, this was a world which was totally different, which was completely. Some people did that somewhere in a parallel universe. It was not my universe. So for me to come from there and then get into this, it was just, I was learning on the job. And that's why I'm saying that, if I could redo a few things, I would definitely train myself before I got in. I can't tell you the embarrassing moments I've had because I've not been prepared and I just didn't know what I was doing. I was learning on the job and on the go, and there have been some really embarrassing moments in that.
We are going to get into them as well. It's going to make for a great conversation, I'm sure, for some great revisiting the old memories
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
thing. We'll definitely do that. But
I have to tell you that, post my chemotherapy, there's something called brain fog. So there are a lot of things that I don't remember, and sometimes it's very convenient
to not remember this.
Yes.
But if I were to go back to that time, as you said, there are so many things that you would have liked to change, but it was always a work in progress, always learning on the job. I want to know, how difficult was it for you to take on that step towards this journey? And I'm sure you faced a lot of challenges. How did you overcome those? What were the challenges in the first place?
So the challenge was not knowing the job. It was a huge challenge. Imagine you're going in there, sitting there and trying to work, and you don't really know what the job is. And you're pretending that, yeah, of course. So, winging it constantly is very stressful.
I know.
So I led my life in stressing that I have to get up and go to work and, aaj chori pakdi jayegi, kal chori pakdi jayegi. That constantly, that feeling that I'm going to get caught, I'm going to get caught on this. I think I didn't enjoy the journey in the process.
Right.
So I wish I could have come with more training, but that wish was, if you know that this kind of profession was something that was open for you,
right.
Then I could have done that, but I didn't. And so this is what I made the best of the given situation. And like I said, I was lucky that I fell in love with what I was doing, but otherwise it would have been torturous.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about what you're saying. What I know as a viewer growing up watching you.
Oh, the dancing was a torture.
No way.
Please. And all the girls, they're so fabulous and they just twirl and they do these steps. And I'm like, every time I know that I have to shoot a song, I literally would be awake the whole night in stress, the trauma of it. I was like, I can't do this. And there are times when I actually started putting down things like, there are songs I don't want to do the movie and stuff like that. And people are like, you're working in Hindi movies. What do you expect?
And I'm
like,
oh
God, what am I going to do? Yeah. But every time I had to dance, it was trauma.
You're saying that, but somehow it's so difficult for me to believe that, because every time we saw you on screen, you danced beautifully. You acted, of course, really wonderfully. I remember you in pretty much everything that you've done. So for me, hearing this as a viewer, as a Sonali Bendre fan, trust me, it's really strange.
So there were either like tremendous amount of rehearsals and mental stress. And other than that, there was, if you see, very few of my songs are really dancing songs. I have done a lot of other songs.
I remember the Mhare Hevda Me song, and I remember just falling in love with you, just watching you do those steps. So really, guys, I'm sure the viewers are with me on this. They're not with you on this.
The first film that I did was called Naraz, and there was a beautiful song in Naraz. It's one of my favorite songs. It's called it's Sambhala Hai Maine Bahut Apne Dil Ko. And I'm totally tune deaf, so I cannot, we will all run out if I start singing, but I don't know if anybody remembers that song. And when I was shooting for this song, I had shot a couple of scenes, and here I was shooting for this song. For the first time in my life, I had gone out of the country, flown out. We were in Malaysia, and we were shooting on this beautiful place, and they said, okay, we're going to shoot the song. You're going to walk. And, it was just a moody song. So I said, oh, okay, fine, great. And as the music started and everything, and suddenly they said, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I froze. I said, what is that? And they just stared at me, and I was like, listen, I mean, you're supposed to say action, and then I'm supposed to walk.
I mean,
what is 1, 2, 3, 4? And they thought that this was like, is this your sense of humor, is what they thought. And I'm like, no. And I realized this was a big, big, big faux pas. Oh. I didn't know that when they shoot songs, they did 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a great story. Thank you so much for that. I can't tell you how excited I am to hear a lot more of this behind-the-scenes, fun, candid stuff. But, Sonali, coming back to the conversation, I still feel like you truly, even while we watched you in films, you were really very inspiring. This is a career, as you said, you kind of learn to be passionate about it. You kind of learn to love it. You learn to ace it. And then eventually you decided to move away from it. when you decided to move away from it? What prompted that decision?
So I think I was really getting very good at what I was doing when I took that break. But I had my son at that point of time, and I really, you know, I've said this before. I was not. It's not something. I mean, I'm educated. I'm an independent woman. In that sense, yes, definitely, all of us come with our baggages and the social baggage and all of that. But I chose to have a child, and I was very sure. Goldie and me, we were very sure that when we choose to have the child and when we bring another person into this world, then that person is our responsibility. And so it was like, if I went on set, then he was at home, and when he was on set, I was at home. What happened then was, the easier thing to do then was to take on, and I'd started with television at that point of time, and I had done a show called Kya Masti Kya Dhoom, which had been really popular, and I was one of the first actors, so to say, to come on television. And it was just like, see, in a sense, not knowing the profession and not knowing anything. So there was not too much of overthinking of, is this the right time or is this not the right time? The money was great, the idea was superb. I think it'll be fun. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It was as simple as that, and I did it. So doing the television show, like doing one show a year, was an easier way for me to do the job, and yet it came closest to working in an office, you know, in that sense. There was some sort of a limit to it. So that was the reason why I took the back seat. In fact, I think I did my play and I was working till I was 8.5 months pregnant, you know. So yeah, it was great fun. But once the baby was born, I really did want to give that part of my life all that I could give. And I had the luxury, and you know, God had been great. One had reached a point in life where I could take that time out, and I did not have the financial instability that I have to get back to work. So I said, if I can do that, then you know, your wants never end. If you have 5 things, you want 10. So that was the part where I had promised myself that this is what I need to do if I have a child, and that's what I did.
Wonderful. You were passionate about films. I'm sure you still are passionate about films. But then you also became, or rather you always were, and we got to know another side of you that you were really passionate about. You authored a book, The Modern Gurukul, My Experiments with Parenting. You also run a book club. I know that. I mean, that's on social media. It's all over, Sonali's book club. Tell us a little more about this phase, this facet of your life.
So see, the author bit was more because you know, there was so much of research. When you get into it, like when I started acting in movies, then everything was about learning the craft, and you know, I became a parent. Everything was about you know, figuring that out. And every time I had these various tips, and I would figure out certain things, and I had this little, I wouldn't call it the black book, but I had one little notebook in which I would write these various things, you know. And my friends always told me that, look, you have so many of these tips. I think you should just write a book. And so I wrote a book. But I think it was a bit presumptuous of me to kind of say, oh, let me be an author and write a book. And, you know, I think, again, like, you know, there are no regrets ever when I look back. But I don't know if I was really kind of prepared for that. So everything has been kind of accidental in that sense, accidental actor, accidental author. So I think now I'm at a point in life where I keep saying that I don't want things to be accidental. I want them to be mindful. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to for things to just happen. So author was also something like that. But I'm glad I went through that exercise. Book club for me is passion totally. And what one realized as times keep changing, and social media is a big thing. And I'm not very, I'm a very private person, and I'm not very comfortable being out there. I never was in that sense. It was kind of contradictory, because I am an actor and yet I'm really private as a person. But now, you know, the team was like, you need to be on social media because there's so many fake accounts and we can't keep correcting that.
And we thank your team for that. We're so happy that they got you on social media, because trust me, it's a treat.
You know what, when I got onto social media, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, because here I was, I could narrate my own story, and I did not have to go through somebody like, who would have their own interpretation to my
Exactly.
story. And I thought it was fantastic. It was fantastic the way you could interact. And I said, yes, there is something amazing about it.
Wonderful.
And then I also asked that if something that can be so amazing, how do I use it in a positive way?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that why not use it to do something that I had lost touch with.
Yeah.
As my child was growing up, and parenting takes so much, and also everything in life is coming now in snippets and quickly.
Yeah.
The discipline of reading I had lost out on, and
Yeah.
I was not reading the way I used to, and I really wanted to get back to it because I kept feeling like like how when you miss a friend and a childhood friend
Yeah.
who you've grown out of, and sometimes you just, I wish I could connect with that friend
back.
It was something like that I felt where the books were concerned, and I said, what a wonderful way to kind of reconnect with that. So I figured we could do a book club, and the moment I put it out, and then if I had to discuss it, then I have to finish reading it. And so that's how the book club just started.
Wonderful.
To use this medium in a way to connect with an old friend.
Lovely. As organic as organically
Yes.
it could be done.
Yes.
Well, Sonali, before we move on to our next segment, we have a video message that has come in from a fan. Let's
Okay.
take a look at it.
Sonali madam, you have been such a versatile actress and have also overcome odds of life. And I'm sure there is a beautiful mind behind the lasting beauty. How do you keep yourself so motivated? And what is your message to the young generation and those who want to take to acting?
Well, I am young generation, just to be.
I mean, boom.
But I've been brought up saying that beauty is within, and I came from a family where I was, we as girls, we were never encouraged to stand in front of the mirror beyond a point. We just got one, like a thing on our head and saying, come on, move on. So I was really not very used to. It was not encouraged, and every
Right.
time it was drilled in that beauty is within, and beauty is what you do,
Right.
and beauty is the actions and your thoughts and what you speak and how you treat people, etc., etc. And I think I have had no option but to, that's been so drilled into me, and I think I live by that in that sense. So I'm very, very, I mean, like I said, compliments are lovely, and I love the compliment you've given me also. But where looks are concerned, it's really not something. It's genes, and I've been lucky, and I'm grateful to my parents and my ancestors, but it's not something that I've done.
Right.
So it's more about what can I do? And maybe just feeling a bit shy about the fact that, you know what, you've got so much, and there are a lot of people who would want what you've got very desperately, and yet you have got it, which means I need to be responsible about what has been given to me.
So true.
And how do I give it back? So I think somewhere that kind of motivates and keeps you going. And I think now, today, when I look back, and today when I said there is, of course, a lot of learning and a lot of thing that has come in. But I think something like this kind of a feeling is what kind of motivated me when I started working in the industry.
Right.
That is what kept me going. For the other part of the question about for people who are coming into the industry now, don't make the mistake I made. You need to come in prepared. Also, those times were different. I could get away with coming without being so prepared. You know, now when you look at the kids who are coming in, they're fantastic. They come in so prepared, and they're like, so I would say that anybody who wants to come into this industry, prepare yourself. And in our country, we don't have so many schools that teach you our profession as much. And I wish there was more of the more education where our industry was concerned. But there is a lot of it. It's not just in front of the camera. There's so much more, and so much more fun and exciting and creative work that happens behind the camera. And I think try to find places where you can learn that from. And I believe some new institutes have been opening, and things have been progressing. But definitely educate yourself and prepare yourself, and then come into this field, because there's so much of creativity here. And if you come in prepared, you can have so much of fun.
That's true. That's great advice, actually. That's wonderful advice. And I'm pretty sure that you've answered all his questions. So that's great. We're also going to just check the chat box to see what your fans, Sonali, have written for you, have asked you. Well, one thing I can say that there's a lot of love pouring in, lots of love coming in. And we do have some questions. The first question comes from Sneha Chopra. She says that I am sure everyone will agree that you've been successful both in your professional as well as the personal front. What would you like to say to women starting their careers now?
Success, again, there's no definition to it. And Sneha, it depends on what is success for you. And the moment you can understand what success means for you, you're successful. Because that's what life is. To understand what is it that you want. And people go through lifetime not really understanding what is it that they want. And I think that, for me, I think is success. And that's how you would be able to define it too. For me to start off in a career where I had no clue what was happening, my mother never came with me. Because my mother's role was very clear that, listen, if you went to an office, you're going for a job. If you went to an office, I wouldn't be sitting on a desk next to you. I have a younger daughter at home who needs me right now, and I think I'm going to trust my upbringing. Oh my God, what a well played card! Because the moment she said that to me, there was no way that every time I would want to be naughty, I would be like, there's so much of responsibility. My mother trusts me so much. I can't let her down. Had she been with me, I probably would have ended up being naughtier as I was as a child, and but I think that really what my mother did at that point just kind of made me realize that what I'm doing is, and whatever I do is kind of going to reflect on what my parents have done for me.
And moms are masterminds. They just know the right thing to say at the right time to kind of just keep you in line.
I am one too.
I know. I was just going to say that. All right. We have another question that is coming from Abhishek. He wants to ask you, if not a movie actress, then what would Sonali be doing professionally?
Right now, I think I can't imagine anything else that's a better fit for me. But at that point of time, my father definitely wanted me to, and I was applying for IAS, and maybe I would have been a bureaucrat.
Wow.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that, I'm sure you would have made a great bureaucrat.
I had promised my father, I must tell you, Abhishek, I promised my father, give me 2-3 years. I'm so young. The last date, I think till you're 22 or 23, you can kind of give this exam. I said, I promise you, if nothing happens, I will go and give the exam. I'm prepared for it. I'll keep preparing for it, and all of that I will do. But just give me 2-3 years, which they did. And touch wood, there was no looking back.
Wonderful. That's great. Okay, Sonali.
But that also means my plan B was there.
Always. That's another great piece of advice. Always have plan B. With that being said, Sonali, it's already so much fun chatting with you, but we do have a lot of fun segments, aka games, that we've prepared for you that we're going to now play with you. Now, you've been a star attraction in most of the music videos that we've seen you in. It's always fun, whether it's a film music video or even otherwise, it's always fun. The 90s, well, you were ruling it, and how? Let's just say it that way. In this round, we're going to play a tune. No singing, no lyrics, just a tune. All you got to do is guess the movie and guess the song.
Oh.
All right, guys, are we ready?
Oh, no.
Wonderful.
I'm not very good at games.
The only catch here is that you have only 30 seconds to guess. So use your time
Are you going to help
wisely.
me?
Not at all.
Come on,
I'm going to be of no help. And they're not going to help you too.
Come on, once little.
No. Sonali, you're on your own. You've got this.
You need to look at the camera. You need to talk to them.
Yes.
And you need to help me.
All right, guys, take it away. Let's have the first tune.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. हम साथ साथ हैं.
That's right. My favorite song ever. I think this song is just, every Indian knows this song. Every single person knows this song.
Seriously.
100%. I would challenge anyone who's,
Seriously, your
I would
favorite?
challenge people who would say that they didn't know this. All right, so you got the first one, right?
Okay.
Let's have the second tune.
Good beginning.
Good start.
इस दीवाने लड़के को सरफरोश.
The band is like, हमने शुरू ही नहीं किया, लेकिन Sonali is guessing it all. That's
इस
right.
दीवाने लड़के को कोई समझाए सरफरोश.
I know. A fun fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I was so excited with watching this song when it actually aired, is because I think you guys filmed that in SL World?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, one of those SL World fantasies.
Yeah, it was so
Water
much fun to
park
watch
zone,
it.
yeah.
It was great. And the chemistry between you and Amir, fab.
He's a fantastic actor, no doubt about it. He's an amazing co-star.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's have the third tune.
एक पल भी जाने जाना मुझसे दूर नहीं जाना. It's Ajay Devgan. Is it Major Saab or is it?
It is Major Saab. It is Major Saab. Okay, I helped her a little bit, but you got the song right, so that point is entirely yours.
I remember Ajay Devgan and I just got confused between Dil Jale and Major Saab.
Okay, we have your final tune.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yes.
मेरी महबूब मेरी सनम
Shukriya, meherbani karam. Wonderful. Listen, what a great start to the game
Thank
rounds.
you.
You've clearly aced
I
this.
didn't tell you the movie.
You didn't.
Ah,
I know the movie.
duplicate.
Duplicate, that's right. That's right.
So
Perfect.
do I win something?
4
I
out of
got it all
4.
right. So
Well, Sonali, there are a lot more games that we're going to play with you. So
okay,
let's
I don't
see how
win
you
anything.
fare.
I'll make do with coffee.
Coffee is great. Coffee is great. Well, thank you so much, guys. That was wonderful, and I think it was great start to our game round. Sonali has clearly cracked all of it, but we do have some more fun game rounds that are coming up.
Thank
So all I
God
can
they were
say
my
is-
songs and not some other. I don't know what I would have done then.
But this was awesome. But let's get back to the conversation. Now, Sonali, you've truly been a symbol of hope and inspiration when it comes to your work professionally. But you also became that very symbol of hope and inspirational when you were going through a very difficult time in your life.
Right.
You put up a very brave fight against a life-threatening illness, cancer. And what we would like to know from you is, how did you fight it? How did you face it?
So, I think anybody who goes through it fights it. It's not like, I don't think I did anything which was not something, maybe, okay, sorry, I take that back. Maybe what I did was I laughed through it and I could smile through most of it. But, you know, cancer, the diagnosis was something that was, I think saying that it was a shock is an understatement. It was unbelievable. It was like, how could this be happening to me and what is happening?
Right.
I mean, suddenly one day you wake up, you go in for a checkup and you come back and what you realize is that, okay, if you realize it is cancer, then you say, okay, we'll deal with it and we'll get on with it, and you do further tests. And what is the shocking part is when you realize that it's metastasized, it's all over, and you know, what do? Goldie being Goldie is like, no thinking, no this thing, we are getting on top of it, and you know, so he was just amazing, the support.
Right.
From family, from friends, and from Goldie especially, it was something else. But like when I went to the US for the treatment and the doctor told me, look, this is 30% chance.
Yeah.
What you have was definitely curable. It's just that we've got it really late, and let's hope we can, you know, get this in hand at this point of time. And so much so that literally a day later they started the treatment. they were not waiting for certain results that were supposed to come and all of that, because
just
they
started
said,
it right
we
away.
can't,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just so close to certain organs and your brain and stuff like that, that, you know, we don't want it going in there, and let's just get on with it.
Right.
Anyway, let's not get morbid about it, but let's just say that it was a bad situation, and it shouldn't have, it should have never gone that far.
Right.
In that, I was, again, like I said, so many things in life happened to me. Career happened to me. Author happened to me. Cancer happened to me. And now I've realized that this is not something, I don't want things just happening to me. And then I sat back and I saw to it, what are the things that have not just happened to me, and what is the things that I've worked on. It's my relationships, it's my child, again my relationship. So I understand that the sustainable things and the things that last and the things that I can take on with me are something that have not just happened. Having said that, my son was 12 years old when I was diagnosed with it, and he was just too young. I had seen my husband lose his father really early, and what it does, and he started working. By the time he was 16, he was working, and the company was to be run, things had to be made, movie was on floor. You had no option. You had to pick yourself up, stop the studies, get things on, then, you know, go in between and study. I didn't want that life for my child, and I knew that, you know, losing a parent is very, very hard.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing up my husband's example is only because for me, that is what I saw.
Yeah.
And it was like a trigger which said that I can't put my son through this, and I need to live for him. Yeah. And I told myself that, you know, just till he's 18, you know, he needs to settle down. He just needs to be able to take care of himself, and then it's fine. So that basically was the motivation for me to want to be alive and want to, you know, take this fight on, or as you would call it, fight, or just, you know, kind of combat this and come out on top of that. That for me was the reason. So again, coming to it for others, when anybody is going through it, you have to find a purpose. And for me, the purpose was that I still wanted to be a parent to my child. And I felt like I was not done with parenting him, and I needed to prepare him a little bit more to be the human being he should be before, you know, I kind of give up on that. So yeah, that was what it was that took me on. I was actually doing a show in between which I kind of disappeared. So when social media, the beauty of social media, when I put it out on social media, it was more because I just wanted to let people know that this is what is happening in my life, and this is where I am going. I'm going to deal with it, and I'll see you later. Hey, see you all later. But I don't want gossip around it, because it affects my child, it affects my parents, it affects the rest of my family.
So you took control of that situation.
I did not. I want the narrative to be mine.
Correct.
I did not, and that's why I put that story out. What happened was a bit magical after that, because the response that I got was from all strata of society, people from cities, towns, villages, anybody who had the thing across the globe, you know, Indians from all over the world were suddenly writing in. Age was not a bar. There were older women, there were older men, there were young girls, there were young boys, there were literally even kids writing in saying that we've been through this, my mother's been through this, this one has been through it. And suddenly it was like, hello, where have I been living? Yeah. This is so rampant, and I had no idea, and I thought, oh my God, I've got cancer. What did it show me? That this is happening to so many people. Right. And I said, hey, I'm lucky. I have a family which has stood by me, which has taken me to the best place to get treatment. And there are so many who don't get that. Yeah. So that again motivated me. And what I realized also, there was another thread in this comments and the people who were reaching out, which were telling me. There were people who would tell me that, you know, 5 years ago I threw my parents, and I didn't want them to worry, and etc., etc. And I realized that there was sort of a taboo around this subject, and, you know, people were not really discussing it, and I couldn't understand why would you not discuss it. Right. It's an illness. You get fever, you get whatever. I mean, okay, that's a bit of this thing, but, you know, you need to talk about it. And I felt that because I came out and I spoke about it, I got the love that I got. And yes. You have to also, you know, human beings are very kind, and the human nature is a loving nature and a social nature. And our first instinct, I feel, is to help.
So true.
But we really go against that instinct. We kind of don't tell people the truth. We hide things, and we have to let people love us. We have
Yeah.
to open out and let people in so that they can love us and they can help
So
us.
true.
And I think that's what happened with this. I got so much of love and I got so much of help from everybody that also helped me
That fueled
get
it.
over it.
Absolutely. You spoke about the people who really came out there, helped you, supported you. You had an army of family and friends who really stood by you through quite easily one of the darkest moments of your life. Could you tell us about those people? You know, what did they mean to you at that point? How their support really changed certain days for you, if not weeks, or
So,
the entire recovery?
the funny part is that Goldie always says I'm antisocial. So, and a lot of my friends or a lot of my colleagues in the industry, because I am reserved and I make friends, I'm a little slow when I make friends. I take time to make friends. But I think for me, more than anything else, it's not because somebody is not capable of it or whatever, but it's my way of protecting myself. Because
Right.
when I'm a friend, I'm so completely a friend that I have my boundary walls,
Yeah.
so I kind of let people in very slowly. So it's a joke in my family, and that they say, oh, you will, and Goldie especially always loves, like, see, for Goldie, he is born and brought up in one place, has childhood friends. For me, I have roamed all over the country in my
Right.
childhood. Every 2 years, you're in a new place. So I don't have that kind of friendship. So I take time to make friends in that sense. I can be friendly,
Right.
but friends are few. And so it was always a discussion that, oh, you have such few friends, and if you had to, if you had to count, I can literally count them. You don't go out so much, and I don't socialize that much. There's some part of it which is their part of my profession,
Right.
but beyond that. So all those used to be the conversations always, and this showed, I told Goldie, I said, just look, you said I don't have friends, but I think I have enough friends to hold me and take me through this. I don't think I need more than this.
Absolutely.
And so there was my husband, my sisters-in-law were completely rock solid behind me. My sisters who gave up what they were doing and moved in. One came in first till the other one came in, and then
Right.
she just took me through. She literally nursed me through this. She was one of the biggest support systems for Goldie and me. And my friends, they came in, my girlfriends came in, Goldie's friends came in, they were, who have become my friends now, but they are Goldie's friends, and they came in to support him and support us. So it was amazing.
I'm so glad to hear
Our
that.
parents, I could not talk to them and give them, I didn't want to trouble them beyond a point. So we were kind of, keeping, I didn't want my parents to come in or my mother-in-law to come in, because it was not something that they need to see. The sight is not a pretty sight, losing hair, no eyebrows, no eyeliner, not very pretty at all.
Right.
And I really didn't want them to see it that way. They saw what they saw in pictures with some kajal on and some lipstick on, and I think that was okay. Without that was a little not very pretty.
Well, thank you for being so candid, Sonali. You've been so honest and so raw, and we can't thank you enough for sharing every detail with so much honesty. I think eventually then you associated yourself with the Cuddles Foundation. Now,
Yes.
that's something that's very special to you, and I know that.
Yeah.
So
It took me a very long time because there are a lot of people out there who are doing a lot of good work, no doubt about it. But when I came back, the experience that I went through, I was very conscious about wanting to do, how do I say it? I was not reading negative things, I was not seeing negative things. Because there was just every time there was something sad or something that was not very, very, it would just pull me down.
Yeah.
So I think I was on a borderline where my mental state was concerned.
Right.
And I understood that if I didn't keep myself on that line, I would slip into that rabbit hole very easily.
Right.
And once you slip down that rabbit hole, to pull yourself out is very difficult.
very difficult.
So I was like, you know what, everything in the world can wait for some time. And so even the books that I was reading, and I had my book club members also saying, ma'am, I don't think you should be reading this book. And I'm like, first time in my life, I'm not going to finish this book.
Right.
Apologies to the author, but I need something happier. So that's the state of mind I was in. And so I was looking for a foundation. There were a lot of them who were doing really good work. But the thing about Cuddles is that it treats childhood cancer.
Right.
And childhood cancer is curable. And that for me was hope.
Right.
And children are future. Children are what? Are a legacy.
Symbol of hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and our legacy, and
Yeah.
you know, and yes, symbol of hope, like you said. So I wanted, and more than anything else, childhood cancer is curable.
Yeah.
Just that fact that it is curable, just that was a very motivating thing for me.
Yeah.
So as long as they are fed properly, because nutrition is the key. If they can build their blood cells up, if the nutrition is good, then they are ready for the treatment, the next set of treatment
Right.
on time. And the moment they can take the treatment on time, they can be cured.
They can be cured.
It's when they can't take the treatment on time that you can't cure them. So suddenly it was very tangible.
Yeah.
That you know what? It's food, it's nutrition, it's children, it's hope, and they can be cured. This is what I want to do. And that's why I associated with Cuddles. They do some amazing work with the children and with the families, with the siblings. They do it for the entire family because, you know, children come from really, the families that come, the child that's going through treatment has siblings,
Right.
you know, a year older, a year younger. You can't feed just that one child
Correct.
and not feed the other children. So these families are being taken care of by them. The nutrition is planned. The mothers are being taught that, you know, it's not so complicated. It's very
can do
simple.
this, yeah.
And suddenly the mother feels empowered and the parents feel that, yes, we can do this. You know, it's not so difficult.
Absolutely.
I just need to understand it. So they do some wonderful work, and that's the reason.
And we're glad.
It really kind of soothes me to be able to do that.
Absolutely. You know, we're not just glad that you're associated with it, we're also very proud of you for doing that. That's truly wonderful. I think the key takeaway is that hope changes everything. And like your story, we could use many more stories and messages that are pick-me-ups that help us through some really dark times that we go out. Speaking of which, HSBC has launched a Wall of Hope. It's an online platform where you can share your stories and help spread the cheer to others.
Oh.
We're going to put up the link on the screen, so you guys should definitely check it out after the show. Sonali, your iconic post, or rather, should I say your iconic line, switch on the sunshine.
Yes.
It's such a short, sweet message and so very impactful with so much meaning. In fact, if I had it on a t-shirt, trust me, I'd wear it every single day. Do you have a short hope-filled message that you can share with us today, and we'll add it to our Wall of Hope?
You know, our lives have become about hashtags
Yeah.
now, and you know, so it's hashtag switch on the sunshine.
Yeah.
And there's very important another hashtag that comes with switch on the sunshine, and that is one day at a time.
One day at a time.
And it's very easy to say switch on the sunshine. It's not so easy to do it, though.
Yeah.
But one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, you know, like just literally one step at a time.
Yeah.
You know, when you break it down like that, suddenly it becomes easier to switch the sunshine on.
That is wonderful. Keep that in mind. Along with switching on the sunshine, take it one day at a time. That comes from Sonali Bendre herself. All right, Sonali, it's time to take on another fun turn to this conversation.
Okay.
I told you, I know that you're always up for a good challenge, and I've already informed you that there are going to be a lot of fun games that we're playing with you.
Yes. but
This time around,
I thought they were games, not challenges.
games, challenges. All right, we're just going to call it a game for now.
Okay.
Let's fool her. It's a challenge. All right, we're going to revisit some old memories. We're going to go down memory lane, and we're going to see how well you can answer these questions. Of course, it's almost like a rapid fire of sorts.
Oh.
But as you know,
Remember brain fog?
yes, I think I'm having
just putting it out there.
Okay, all right. I know she's just kind of making this seem like it's going to be super tough for her. Trust me, when this starts, you're going to see a very, very different side to Sonali Bendre. All right, Sonali, I see that you're all gearing up
Yes,
for
absolutely.
the next
Let's
game.
go.
This is a rapid fire round. I'm sure that you're ready for it. Band, are we ready? Okay.
I challenge accepted, and I like to win.
All right. We're going to start with the first question. There you go. Sonali, if you had to live the life of one of the characters you played, who would it be?
Oh my God. No, that character is yet to be made.
I like that. I'll take that. You've acted with some of the biggest Bollywood stars. your most memorable co-star?
I'm going to be very diplomatic about this.
No. No? You're not giving us an answer? Oh, okay, I'm going to move on. Any one of the movies that you'd want to make a sequel to?
No, I don't want to make a sequel, but I definitely want to make a movie which has a character which I have not played till now, which I have which I want to be more known as, etc., etc. I think that chapter is to begin in my life.
Okay.
Picture abhi baki hai dost.
Picture abhi baki hai mere dost.
Yes,
A Hollywood
absolutely.
or Bollywood role you wish you played?
I think the role I would wish to play will come from some sort of a book. That's the feeling I have. But I would definitely want to play a hopeful, strong, independent woman character. And even if it is not independent, the hope and strength, very, very important.
Wonderful. A Hollywood or Bollywood actor you'd really admire?
I admire a lot of actors. I'm a big fan. I did Major Saab with Mr. Bachchan, who is a legend, and it was amazing to have worked with him. I did not give you the answer to the co-stars, but I must say that I've worked with some wonderful co-stars. They're friends till today. I've worked with all the three Khans. I've worked with Saif, though in amongst all the Khans, Saif is the funnest of them all, if funnest is a word then. But otherwise, maximum movies that I've done are with Ajay Devgan, and
Right.
those have been it's been a great time. Akshay also,
Okay, Sonali is being very diplomatic.
Yes,
Guys, if you didn't figure it out by now, 3 books everyone must read.
that the book, The Child, the Mole, the Horse,
All
what
right?
is it called?
I don't know.
Okay, that book with the lovely illustrations is a must read. Yes.
Okay, that's one.
A book that I think everybody should read, and it's a book called Wabi Sabi. I will get the author for you at some point. I don't remember, brain fog, but Wabi Sabi in Japanese is a word. It's a word.
Yeah.
And I remember reading this to my son, and it's a beautiful story about a cat who's named Wabi Sabi and wants to understand the meaning of Wabi Sabi.
Wonderful.
And me as a parent trying to tell my son what Wabi Sabi meant. It was not easy, but it was a beautiful lesson, and I remember that word so clearly because that's what life is about. And I remember basically what my son at that point said was true. What I remember. He said that means Wabi Sabi Mama is something like a mama's hug in Mama in her old night suit, which is soft. I said, yeah,
Bang
let's
on. And
something
the third
like
book.
that. Third
recommendation.
Third recommendation is you must become members of Sonali's book club. Go on the book club and you'll get so many recommendations.
Wonderful. Okay, if you had the chance to pick a book and turn it into a film, which book would you turn into a film?
I have a couple of books in mind.
Okay,
But
what
I
are the...
cannot say.
You cannot say it just
Yes,
yet?
just
All
yet.
right.
Because maybe it might happen, maybe it might not. But I come from a visual medium, so when I read a book, I'm visualizing them all the time. And maybe I should take this time in pandemic. What a fantastic idea I've had. I think I should take this time out now that I'm feeling better and maybe do a course in writing and screenplay
Wonderful.
writing and maybe adapt a book.
You go, Sonali. All right, what
I
are
think it'll be wonderful to be behind the camera.
I
I don't
all
have
for
to
it.
worry about how I look. Oh my God.
Well,
that
you
would be
really
fun.
don't have to worry about how you look. You know you look fabulous as always, all the time. Last question. One thing about Sonali Bendre that no one knows. One thing about you that everyone really wants to know, and we know that you're a private person, but give us something.
God,
something.
you know what? That's a thing of past. With social media, nothing is private. Nothing is private. Actually, social media is not the right thing to say. With mobile camera phones, nothing is private and nothing is hidden and everything is out there. And believe me, I'm not happy about it at all. I feel very conscious of it. It took me very long to adapt to it, but oh my God. If there's one thing that should be banned, it's the mobile phone cameras. Those cameras are...
Everywhere, capturing everything.
There's nothing private anymore.
Well, Sonali, thank you so much for very diplomatically answering a lot of my questions.
But look at me, how how rudely have I said that you should ban the mobile phone
Ban the
cameras and
mobile
etc.
phones, but I
So,
don't
you know,
know.
I'm not that diplomatic.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to give that to you. Well, you did well with your answers, and I think it's time to turn it up a notch.
Oh.
Well, yes, if you thought this was
We've not been turning it up?
think again, Sonali, because now we're going to move on to our Money Matters segment, where we've invited one of our experts at HSBC to join us live so we can get your superstar take on money management. We have on live call with us Mr. Anurag Mathur. He's the head of Wealth and Personal Banking, HSBC Singapore, who's going to throw some interesting questions at you and get your perspective on money matters. Please welcome Mr. Mathur.
Hi, Sonali. How are you? What a pleasure.
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Mathur? I can't believe that, you know, I'm sitting here at an HSBC function and I can't be the one. I want to know the tips. I want to know how to handle the money and I want the, you know, tips on it. And I mean, I can't be good at it. I'm an actor.
No, I think we all know that you have your tips and secrets. So we want to get some out of you. So Sonali, just to kick off, you know, you've shared some parenting tips. You know, you've taught your son what wabi-sabi means. And what have you taught your son, or how have you taught him about the value of money? And, you know, when you've brought up your family, you know, how have you thought about financial planning for the future?
So, where it's not easy to teach them the value of money, and especially in today's day and age when everything is so available and it's just so out there and they know everything. So, teaching the child that, and I'm hoping, I mean, you know, only time will tell if Goldie and me have been successful in this or not. But what we've tried to do is teach him that easy come, easy goes, and so there are no shortcuts. Whatever the shortcuts are, definitely are dodgy, and so, you know, just look at them in that way. And the other thing is that you must earn it, and that is one thing that we've, in whatever way it was, sometimes I didn't mean it like a carrot in that sense, you know, you don't want to bribe a child, but definitely we wanted him to understand that you needed to earn something, and or if you have been fortunate and it's your birthday and if you've got so many gifts, you need only these many, so rest we give away. So just being a little more empathetic towards the ones who don't have enough, I think kind of teaches them the value of money. And once they understand the value of money and how to earn it the right way, how hard it is to earn it the right way, then, you know, that once that value comes into place, I feel that he will be able to, he'll be sorted for life. That's the main basic lesson. Beyond that, now I'm like I said, I'm not very good with the numbers and stuff like that. So all I can do is kind of give him this sort of a creative input about how to deal with money.
No, that's wonderful. I think you've taught him values, which is the biggest thing, I think, in learning the value of money. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Do you think these days women are playing a bigger and bigger part in making financial decisions, not only for themselves, but for their family?
I don't think they're playing a big enough part as yet. I think women need to play a much bigger role in planning, in the financial decisions of a family, and especially now in India I'm talking about, but I think it's applicable to all over the world. There is patriarchy, and I don't want to throw these words around, but definitely there is a certain amount of understanding that, look, your brother will deal with it for you, your husband will deal with it for you, your father will deal with it for you. But that's not true. You know, the woman needs to understand money herself, and I've always said for a great relationship, it has to be that of equals. And to be equal, you need to be financially independent. My mother always had one line that she had to say, and she always was very, very clear about one thing. She was a homemaker, never went out and did a job. But she was very clear that even if you get married to the richest man in the world, those were her words, you cannot get married and leave this house, my house, because she was very clear that we are leaving the house only when we got married. So it was kind of very convoluted in that sense. But you cannot unless you are independent and earning your own paycheck. And she was very clear that that paycheck could be just 500 rupees, but it has to be your paycheck. And till you don't do that, you cannot get into, a marriage. Wonderful. And she was so clear about it, And it's not like, I mean, they are together in so many years of marriage, they are together. But obviously, she has felt something where she didn't feel powerful or empowered enough because she was not earning, that she was very clear about that she wanted that for her daughters. And I have always, whenever I've been asked anything about where women's independence and women's strength is concerned, I said, till we don't educate our daughters, until they are not financially independent, you can never have healthy relationships and healthy family lives.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I have two girls, so this is something I definitely relate to. But it's a bit of a work in progress, teaching them about value of money and financial skills. So the job is never quite done.
Absolutely.
But, there are many aspects to you, Sonali, and one of them, of course, is you are an entrepreneur. So on the business side of things, along with your personal finances, who do you turn to when you need advice or, guidance, particularly on the financial front?
So early on in life, I realized that it's best to trust the professionals who know money much more than I do. So I am in my job helped by a wonderful team of professionals, and the only thing that I did was identified them, and after that they are the ones who have made everything happen for me. I think understanding the fact that this is not where I am, this is not my forte, this is not what I am trained for, and understanding that there are enough amazing professionals out there who will do this job for you, and handing it over, delegating it, trusting them.
Getting the right advice.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sonali. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure, definitely my pleasure.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mathur. Those were some really great questions that came your way,
Yeah.
and you've answered all of them very, very well. Yet proving my point that you're always up for a good challenge and clearly getting that right. But we do have one last segment. Of course, we're nearing the end of the show. We've come to the part where we go back in time and revisit some amazing memories that you've been a part of.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is that we're going to flash a set of images right here.
Okay.
And these images have been picked out from the archives. You're going to take a look at these images, and you're going to take us back in time. You're going to tell us about the moment behind the image or the story behind the image. Basically, take us behind the scenes.
Okay.
All right?
I'm going to try my best.
All right. Let's take a look at the first image.
Sonali's Book Club.
Yes.
And how lovely is the logo?
Wonderful.
Don't miss the coffee
The
cup
coffee.
there.
I was just going to say that. The coffee is right there where it should be.
Yeah. So, so Sonali's Book Club is handled by a wonderful team of girls, and they are just brilliant, and they help me with this, and they are so passionate about it, and I would not be able to run this club and be as active on it as I am if I didn't have them supporting me.
Wonderful. I love that. All right. Girl power for the win.
Totally. Girl power.
Let's have the next image.
Ah.
Oh. All hearts. But you tell us the story behind
Launching of the book. Oh my God, it was another baby in that sense. And I'm like, I can't believe I did this. Writing a book is a very lonely journey. And maybe I will do it again at some point in life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've not been able to sit down alone and kind of write that. I just want life around me all the time. This image is not something that I'm talking about. It was the launch of the book, but it's taken me to this part of my life, which is with what I went through from being an antisocial who loved being alone and everything, I want people around me. It's just,
Right.
just signs of life around me. I want that feeling of being alive.
Right.
And so I've not been able to get back to writing for the longest time because it's a lonely job, and you sit down and you sit with yourself and you write. I'm sure I'll get there someday, but I've not been able to get there. So when I see this image, it's the launch of the book, and we're sitting over there. There was this lovely snacks and everything, and Goldie and me, and clicking this picture. I was just kind of starting off on social media and all of that. But it also reminds me that I think I have some books in me, and I don't know when I will write them. So
can't
it's
wait
a
for
little
them.
bittersweet when I see this picture.
Wonderful. Let's have a look at the next one.
When was this?
Looks like you guys are off on a
On a
really
road trip, yes.
Lovely road trip, yeah.
And my IC is also with us. Oh my God, I can't remember this trip. This is a road trip, and I think this is a fantastic road trip because my dog is with me,
Of course.
and both my boys are with me. So my whole world is in there. Fantastic. But I can't remember this trip.
Well, it's okay if you can't remember this trip, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you most certainly remember what this feels like.
Yes, absolutely.
It feels
like I need to do this again.
I like that. I love that. Can we have the next image?
Ah, my hair is back. Yeah, I have my hair back.
Okay.
My sister-in-law took this picture, and it was in the bathroom, and we were stepping out to get a bite, and as I would come away after the chemotherapy, then there was that low, and then you started building up again before you went in again for a chemotherapy. Basically, you built up all the cells and then you attacked them again. So this was a time when it was just before I was going to, in the next 2 days, I was going to go in for my next session of chemotherapy. So I was at my physical best in that sense.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to step out and, get a bite to eat. And my sister-in-law, who was on a work trip to LA, had then taken a detour and come to spend some time with me. It was so lovely. And when we were stepping out, and I said, I want to put my kajal on. I said, if nothing else, this is my war paint, as I would call it. It's my war paint. And I was putting that on, and she's standing behind there, and she clicked this picture, and she said,
Stunning picture, and it's honestly, it's just all in your eyes. Your eyes are beautiful. Yes, it's the kajal, and yes, it's the war paint, but it's most certainly in your eyes. The magic is in your eyes, and that will never leave. Okay, let's have the final picture. Ooh! All right. Okay. Remember when I told you my
I need
friends
to
were
get
really
those
jealous?
abs back.
I remember the song so clearly.
Now there's a scar running all the way there, and I'm okay with it now. I have made my peace with it, and I kind of, actually when I look at it, I'm saying, oh, the scar is not there. I've made that much of peace with it. Right. But this is Sarfarosh, and it's the rain song.
Jo Hal Dil Ka.
Jo Hal Dil Ka. And rain songs are a trauma because it was 10 days in Panhala near Kolhapur.
Right.
It was freezing cold. It was actually raining, and then they were adding more artificial rain so that it, it shows up in the camera. And we would sit the whole day from morning till evening wet. It was really torturous.
Oh my God.
But everything, you realize that, like I said, nothing is easy. But look at that, all the trauma that we went through. But the song was so beautiful. It told a story that was so
One
lovely.
of the most iconic songs, I think, in
and
your
one
career.
of the rain songs that I like, because I think John and Amir, for that matter, the song was shot so beautifully. It was not one of those rain songs. It was like poetry.
Right.
The way it was shot.
I agree. It was beautiful. You looked stunning, clearly.
Actually, there was another rain song of mine, though I hated rain songs. And in fact, after a point, I started saying, if there's a rain song, I don't want to do the movie. I used to say that. But there was this song, and there was one song before this that I had done, which was a beautiful rain song. And it was from, I don't know what was it called. It was from a film called Behek. And I don't know if anybody remembers that song. But, it was Savan Barse Tarse Dil, Kyun Na Nikle Ghar Se Dil. Beautiful song. It was one of, it's one of my favorite songs, yeah.
One of your favorite songs, and I'm glad because this truly is one of my favorite Sonali Bendre moments of all time. This picture is iconic, the song is iconic, and of course, the lady in it is iconic too. All right, so before we close, we're done with the pictures, but before we close, we should take another look at the chat box. First, we have another audience message, so let's take a look at that right away.
Okay.
Hi Sonali, this is VJ Gaelyn from Mumbai. It was really inspiring to see how you faced the dreaded C disease, cancer. My question to you, Sonali, is what life lessons can you share with us on managing such a life-altering crisis? Thank you for your time.
Wow. How do you manage this life-altering crisis? I think the way I went through it, and the reason why I was able to go through it the way I did was because took it on my chin, took it head on, and found humor in it. And I think that is the thing about life. We need to find humor. I think we've all, in today's day and age, you said the dreaded C. And we have another dreaded C going on right now, which has been even more devastating. And let's not, but like I said again, we need to find humor in every situation. And I think our, level of tolerance has become very short. We're all so ready to judge people, to jump to conclusions, to see the negative. I think we all just need to take a breath, take a step back, and just kind of calm down a bit and look at things and be able to laugh at it. If somebody has said something, if you can take a step back and look at it and say, oh, what a stupid thing to say, and if you can laugh at it, we've just forgotten how to laugh at things and how to have fun. We've become so touchy about everything. So I just think that we need to just have a little more fun.
Change your perspective and change your life. I love that. I hope that answers your question. We also have another question that has come in from the chat box.
Okay.
This question comes from Manisha, and she wants to know, do we get to see you on screen anytime soon?
Even about 6 months ago, had you asked me this, I would have said, I don't know, maybe. But today, I would say, again, the last 6 months, and I am a work in progress, and every day I'm becoming stronger, and I'm being disciplined about it, and I'm keeping at it, and I do feel strong enough to say that I want to get to work now. I feel more confident. I feel confident that I think I'll be able to be on set and I will be able to put in the hours. I'm feeling much more confident now, physically, mentally. So, 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to answer this question, but today I'm able to. See, life changes.
Wonderful. Cheers to that. And that brings us to a close of yet another wonderful episode of HSBC Star Struck. Sonali, it has been an absolute pleasure to be here with you and to have this session here live with our wonderful audiences as well. I can let you go. I can't rather let you go without signing these wonderful mementos that we have that will then eventually go to the Superfan. We are having a Superfan contest, as you know. This will then go to the winners of the Superfan contest. I'm sure that the audience is eagerly waiting to know the results of the contest. So I'm going to pass this on to you, and I'm going to request you to please sign these.
Where do I sign it?
Sorry. Here you go. You can sign them right here.
Here, okay.
Yeah. Well, for all those of you that have entered, the winners will be announced shortly on the HSBC India Instagram page. So make sure you head on over there to know more. And here's the final one.
All the best, whoever's going to get this.
Sonali, it truly has been wonderful having you here. I'm going to ask you to switch on the sunshine one last time today. And being someone who always manages to bring in her positive energy wherever she goes, one final word to our viewers who are watching us right now to wrap up. What's the one thing Sonali Bendre wants to leave us with?
Oh my God. I think with the times that we are going through right now, like I said a little while before, I think we just need to look for some kindness. I think it's very, very important. Kindness, love, empathy, just including people into our lives.
Wonderful.
And something as simple as that. If you can just, if there's for no rhyme or reason, if you can just kind of, eventually, you know what, these are muscles. All you have to do is use them and you start smiling.
I love that. One day at a time, as she said, kindness, smile a lot. And with that, Sonali, you truly have switched on the sunshine here on our sets. Once again, the folks that are watching at home, block your calendars. Episode 3 will hit your screens on August 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Don't forget to follow the brand on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on the entire series. For now, take care, stay safe until we meet again. This is me, Gaelyn, and Sonali Bendre signing off. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great weekend.